Imagine this, a diminutive yet fierce leader striding across the battlefield, his iconic hat perched atop his head as he commands his troops with unwavering determination. But hold on a moment, was Napoleon really as short as they say? And what about his crazy love life? Did he truly abandon everything for love? As we explore the cinematic portrayal of one of history's most legendary figures, Napoleon Bonaparte, we're left wondering, just how realistic is the movie compared to the real story? Are we getting the full picture, or are we being served a Hollywood-sized portion of dramatic flair? So in the movie, they really play up Napoleon's height, or should I say lack thereof? They make him out to be this tiny dude, like you could just scoop him up and carry him around in your pocket. But hold on a second, because in reality, Napoleon wasn't exactly as short as they make him seem. Sure, he wasn't a giant by any means, but he was around 5 feet 6 inches tall, which is pretty average for his time. It's like he wasn't towering over everyone, but he definitely wasn't hobbit-sized either. Now, this whole idea of Napoleon being super short has given rise to what they call the Napoleon complex. Basically, people think that because he was on the shorter side, he had this extra aggressive personality to make up for it. You know, like he had a chip on his shoulder because of his height. So, about Napoleon and his height. You know, there's this common belief floating around that Napoleon's ambitious nature was somehow linked to his stature. But honestly, that's probably just a load of baloney. I mean, sure, Napoleon was ambitious and driven, but his height likely had little to do with it. Think about it, ambition doesn't just come in one size, right? Now, onto the topic of Joaquin Phoenix portraying Napoleon in the movie. He's about 5 feet 8 inches tall, which is pretty close to Napoleon's actual height. But hey, let's not just stop there. Let's ponder for a moment how physical appearance isn't the be-all and end-all when it comes to portraying historical figures on screen. It's about capturing the essence, the spirit, the very soul of the character. And Joaquin, with his incredible talent and dedication to his craft, undoubtedly fits the bill quite nicely, don't you think? But wait, there's more to this story. Let's not forget the importance of historical accuracy in film portrayals. While Joaquin's height might align closely with Napoleon's, there are a myriad other factors to consider when depicting such an iconic figure. From the way he carries himself to his mannerisms, speech patterns, and historical context, there's a whole world of detail to get into. Let's take a closer look at how historical events are portrayed in the movie about Napoleon. First off, they show Napoleon supposedly witnessing Marie Antoinette's execution. But the truth is, he had other things on his plate at the time. Yep. While poor Marie was meeting her fate, Napoleon was off fighting battles in other places. So him being there in person is pretty unlikely. Now, on to the Battle of Aix. The movie does a decent job of showing how Napoleon wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty to secure a victory. But here's the thing. Some historians reckon they may have dialed up his cruelty a notch or two for the sake of drama. Next up, we've got the Fire of Moscow. Now that was a real doozy of a historical event, and the movie does a good job of capturing the sheer chaos of it all. The flames engulfing the city, the panic in the streets, it's all there, pretty accurate if you ask me. Lastly, we've got the Battle of the Pyramids. The film makes it seem like Napoleon's army was practically rubbing elbows with the pyramids during the fight, but in reality, they were quite a distance away. So yeah, they took a few liberties with the geography there. But hey, it's all in the name of making a more exciting movie, right? But what about his personal relationships? The movie paints Napoleon as flipping out when he catches wind of the gossip. And sure, it's true that Napoleon wasn't exactly thrilled about the whole situation. But some historians reckon the movie might have cranked up the drama for effect. Now let's pivot to Napoleon's divorce from Josephine. The movie makes it seem like his main concern was just not having an heir to carry on his legacy. But hold your horses, there's more to the story. Yes, Napoleon did want a legitimate successor, but there were also political pressures and family influences at play. It wasn't as cut and dry as the movie makes it out to be. Lastly, when Josephine shuffles off this mortal coil, the movie depicts Napoleon as utterly crushed, despite the fact that they'd been divorced for quite some time. Sure, Napoleon felt a pang of sorrow at her passing, but the movie's portrayal might be a tad exaggerated. He did mourn her, sure, but life moves on, and Napoleon wasted no time in finding love again and tying the knot once more. It's no secret that movies often play fast and loose with the facts to keep audiences hooked, and the Napoleon movie is no different. They'll shuffle events around, spice things up with a dash of drama, and sometimes even bend the truth a bit. Take, for instance, the scene where Napoleon is shown at Marie Antoinette's execution. In reality, he was nowhere near the scene, busy fighting battles miles away. Then there are those pivotal moments where accuracy takes a back seat to drama. Maybe they'll exaggerate Napoleon's emotions or make his enemies seem more sinister than they really were. These adjustments may indeed add an element of excitement to the narrative, but they can also warp our perception of Napoleon's true character and the events that shaped his legacy. It's akin to peering at a portrait through a funhouse mirror. Sure, it's entertaining and alluring, but it doesn't provide an accurate reflection of the subject. Now here's where it gets really interesting. By tampering with historical facts and embellishing certain aspects of Napoleon's life, filmmakers run the risk of not only misleading audiences, but also shaping how future generations perceive this iconic figure. It's like playing a game of historical telephone, where each retelling distorts the original message a little further. So what's the verdict on the movie's portrayal of Napoleon? Well, we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about how the movie played fast and loose with historical facts, from Napoleon's height to his personal relationships, and even major historical events like battles and executions. Overall, while the movie definitely takes some liberties for the sake of drama, it's not all completely off the mark. There are moments where they do get things right, but there are also plenty of times where they veer into Hollywood territory. When it comes down to it, striking a balance between entertainment value and historical accuracy is key. Biographical films like this one have the power to shape our understanding of history, so it's important to approach them with a critical eye. While it's great to be entertained, it's also important to remember that these movies are just that, movies. They're not always 100% accurate, and it's up to us to separate fact from fiction. That's all for today. Please let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this. Watch our next video for more movie reviews like this one.